Good day everyone, I'm Mao and welcome to my library. Today we're going to be going over and inspect one of the most interesting books that I find this play incredibly interesting. I find it intriguing and I find the mystery in this place simply beautiful. I think this book is very impactful to me personally and I love this book. So the name of this book is An Inspector Calls and it is one of the most studied plays in English literature. The author J.B. Priestley. So, who is J.B. Priestley? J.B. Priestley grew up surrounded by socialist ideas. His father was a passionate socialist, and at his time, he was a soldier in World War One. And this deepened his understanding of how deeply unequal society really was. So, this socialist ideas really shaped J.B. Priestley's mind about the world. It helped him to understand things from a different perspective, and his socialist beliefs came through mostly in the character Inspector Goole, who is mainly the main character. I wouldn't really call him the main character, but he's the main center of focus in this entire story. So the author's personality, socially beliefs, ideas, and vision about the world really came through these characters. So we're gonna go over the story right now. So stay tuned with me. Okay, let's get. An Inspector Calls was written in 1945 but set in 1912 Edwardian England. It centers on the wealthy Birling family who are visited unexpectedly by Inspector Goole, who is there to discuss the life evaporation of a young working class woman named Eva Smith. The gap between 1912 and 1945 is intentional. Priestley is basically saying, look how much damage this attitude has caused across two world wars. So let us basically get into the summary of the story. So, An Inspector Calls begins as a celebration. So the beginning of the entire story it starts at a party, okay? There's literally the beginning of this entire story is at a party. Okay, the Birling family are gathered to celebrate Sheila Birling's engagement to Gerald Croft. So Sheila Birling is basically the daughter of the Birling family. She is the daughter, and Gerald Croft is basically a rich guy who wants to marry Sheila. Okay, so the atmosphere is warm, comfortable, and confident. Mr. Birling is practically pleased because the marriage will strengthen the connection between two wealthy families. So Mr. Birling is very happy because of this marriage is going to happen between me, my daughter, and this wealthy family. It's going to improve my business. It's going to improve my daughter's life. Okay, it's going to make everything very good for me, and he's very happy about that. He's incredibly happy about that. He's very pleased about that. um Okay, so Priestley deliberately creates this pleasant opening so that the inspector's arrival feels more shocking and unsettling. So, when there's a calm atmosphere, everything is going nice. When you're reading the story, I have no idea of the context behind it, okay? You're just reading the story. And, that's how it felt for, the first few minutes when I was in literature class reading the story and I already knew what was going to happen. I was like, oh my god, when is the drama gonna begin? So, when Inspector finally arrived, I was like, oh my god, finally! This man has finally arrived. I was waiting for the drama to start, because if you have not read the story yet and you don't know the context behind the story and you just read it and you just see this inspector just walking into this party and it's I want to speak to you guys, and oh, it has begun. Mr. Birling spends much of the opening scene expressing his confidence in business, wealth, and individual success. He argues that a man should look after himself and worry about others. These views establish him as a symbol of selfish capitalism. So he basically is a very selfish capitalistic man that's oh my god, as long as you're successful and you have money, you don't really have to care about other people or what they're going through, which I think is a very selfish thing to think about. Because you're secured financially doesn't mean you shouldn't look out for others around you. And I'm not saying that you should help people at the detriment of yourself. While helping people, you should also be wise, but that doesn't mean you should believe that as long as you are well settled, you shouldn't care about other people around you. That is a very selfish thing to think, okay? And the book makes it very clear that this guy is a selfish man, okay? He's a selfish and unapologetically selfish person. So He argues that these views establish him as a symbol of surface capitalism. Yeah, dramatic irony is used when he confidently makes predictions about the future that the audience knows are wrong, making him appear foolish and unreliable. So the predictions about the future that he made was that the Titanic is basically unsinkable, simply unsinkable. Quote: "The Titanic is unsinkable, sinkable, simply unsinkable." He quote that's actually what he said. Like, I should really get that quote on screen for you guys, but I don't want any copyright. But like, he basically said that the Titanic was unsinkable, and we as viewers who saw the Titanic movie, I think the movie was Titanic. That name of the movie. I'm not sure about the name of the movie, but we know that the Titanic sank. It was sinkable. It did sink. Okay, and then we see this old man here telling us that the Titanic is unsinkable, simply unsinkable. There's no way it can sink, which is crazy because it did. Okay, so the book was basically mocking him, like, "Oh, it is unsinkable. Why winking at us, videos? Like, you see this man over here? It means Titanic is unsinkable, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, sure. Why not? Why not? Okay, Titanic is unsinkable. Definitely, definitely. Okay, so the mood changes dramatically when Inspector Goole arrives. His entrance interrupts the celebration and immediately creates tension. So, like, when he suddenly arrives, like, they were having an engagement party, everybody's having fun, everybody's drinking wine, eating food, enjoying their day. And then suddenly they hear a siren comes and tells them, "Oh my god, the young lady, young master, Mr. and Mrs. Birling, there's an inspector at the door here to see you guys." I'm like, "An inspector? We didn't call an inspector. Having a party. What the heck?" It's like, "He's from the police department." It's like, "Oh, okay, let him in. Like, let him come in, okay?" But like, we didn't call anybody here, okay? So what is going on? Then, but just let him in, okay? So like, they are very confused. They're unsettled. They're like, "What the hell is going on here?" They are very, very confused at what is happening. And honestly, it's valid because if you're in space, suddenly showed up at my engagement, but I'm like, "Did I do something? I promise I'm innocent. Oh my god, I promise I'm innocent." So Priestley describes him as creating an impression of massiveness, solidity, and purposefulness. So, like, he describes him as like he's like a massive, he's like an oppressive figure to the Birling. So, like, "Oh my god, what did we do? Hello." Although he is only one man, he seems to dominate his name. His name it seems to dominate the room. His name Ghoul sounds familiar to Ghoul, a ghostly creature which gives him a mysterious and slightly frightening quality. Throughout the play, it seems almost supernatural because he knows exactly how to expose each character's guilt, which is absolutely true. Because if you read the story, when I read the story back then, I was like, "Where did you get all this information from?" Like, when it was just exposing the guilt of all the characters, I'm like, "Hello, sir, who are you? How do you know all of this? I know you're from the police department, but like, you know some up on personal information, and you said this woman just evaporated from the earth, and you're like, you know all of this? Did you meet her? Did you talk to her? Did she give you all of this information? Because how do you have such specific details that somebody would only have if they were in that situation?" Which I found genuinely insane. It was genuinely like, when I did not know about all this analysis of this book until I took my time to read, do research, and do an analysis on the book. Until I found out all this, I'm like, "Hello, what?" I did not know about any of this. Okay, I did not know about any of that. I did not know any of this until I took my time to do an analysis on the book. I'm like, okay, okay, but what? So, okay, the inspector begins with Mr. Brilling's connection to Eva Smith. She worked at Brilling's factory and was dismissed after participating in a strike for higher wages. Birling refuses to accept responsibility, claiming that business decisions are simply business decisions. However, Priestley presents Birling as a cruel and uncaring because he values profit more than human welfare. Eva's suffering begins because someone with power chooses not to help her. So basically, it was like, he's like this absolutely stonehead capitalist. Like, okay, absolutely not. No, 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 no. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Okay, he was like, "I don't want to hear nothing from none of you." I was like, "I'm not having it." So like, she asked for higher wages because she basically started a protest. Okay, we need higher wages, please add to our salary. It's like, oh, so you're the one who started this protest and started this protest for higher wages that's not going to even affect my business, but still, I'm a greedy capitalist. Not, I have nothing against capitalists, guys. It's basically what the story is saying. This is not any of my personal opinion. Okay, please do not quote me on this. I beg you. I have no political um opinions on anything or anyone does. I'm just like telling what the story is telling, okay? It's basically the story. If you do research, it's on the story. So I was like, oh, okay, now, okay, continue. And he fired her, okay? He fired her because she started a protest for higher wages, which he believed was going to affect him. So that was the beginning of her misfortune, unfortunately. That's sad. The inspector then reveals Sheila's involvements. Sheila, which is the princess, Sheila had ever dismissed from her job at a clothing store after becoming jealous of her appearance. Unlike her father, Sheila immediately feels guilty and accepts responsibility. So basically, let me just summarize this in a way that I'm not gonna get copyright striked. Okay, I don't want a copyright claim on somebody else's book, please. So basically, Sheila was trying on this dress. Okay, and she saw that the dress did not fit her. Like many of us try on the dress, and I'm like, oh my god, no, please get that away from me. So she basically tried on this dress. She said it didn't fit her. It didn't look good on her. She looked bad in the dress. Then she looked in the mirror and saw Eva looking all beautiful, and she saw in her vision. As we know, all we baddies know, we see the vision. So in the vision, she saw that, oh my god, this dress is going to look so much better on this girl, and this girl is not even on my same social economic level. And she was like, nah, absolutely not. She believed in her subconscious mind that Eva Smith's looking better in that dress was insulting to her. She believed that it was insulting that why would someone that's not been on socioeconomic level as me look better in this dress. So she went to the manager because her family is one of the most prominent customers to that boutique, and they were like, and she was like, I want this girl gone, and I want her gone now. I don't want to see her. Get her away. And that was the second after her father had fired her from her job. She wanted to get that job at that boutique, and because of Sheila's envy, unfortunately forever, she also lost that job, which was just horrible. Like, oh my god, why would you do that? If that dress didn't look good on you, get another dress. You're rich. So after that, when Sheila now found out about the consequences of her actions, like the baddie she is, she apologized. She felt sad. She like, if you read the story, you genuinely begin to feel bad for her because the way she begins to talk, she felt so broken down. Like when I genuinely felt so bad for her in that story. She felt so heartbroken. Like it the way she spoke after that was so, like, she went from cocky to absolutely, oh my god, what have I done? Like it was very, very sad. It was a very, very sad side. But it's not sadder than the evaporation of Eva Smith's life, okay? It's not sadder than that, okay? Unlike her father, Sheila immediately feels guilty and accepts responsibility. Yes, she does. This moment marks the beginning of her transformation. She realizes her actions had serious consequences and becomes increasingly sympathetic towards Eva. Sheila's growth contrasts with the stubborn attitudes of her parents. Absolutely. Like, she became so sad. She became so sober. She was like, what have I done? Oh my god, I didn't know that what I did would actually affect someone in this manner. It hurt her a lot. So I was like, okay, I'm so sorry. But her parents, no, no, they didn't give two hoots. They're like, huh? No, 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 no. We don't care. We actually don't care. Like, we really couldn't care less, okay? We really couldn't care less, which is actually very, very sad because, come on now. So, okay. The inspector then reviews. Okay, yeah. So Gerald Croft's confession is more complicated. Remember, Gerald Croft is Sheila's fiance. Unlike Birling and Sheila, he genuinely helped Eva for a period of time by rescuing her from an older man who was being weird towards her. However, he also entered into a relationship with her before eventually abandoning her. Gerald is neither completely cruel or completely innocent. Priestley uses him to show that even similar kind actions can still cause harm when people use their social power irresponsibly. So at first he was nice to her, he helped her out with a weird guy, but then he became that weird person. He let her on, then abandoned her. Why also, and he genuinely hurts Shayla because he was engaged to her, and Eva because he abandoned her. He wasn't really interested in her. Okay, so he isn't a good person, and he isn't a cruel person like the Birling, Mr. Birling and Mrs. Birling either. Okay, he isn't. He's somewhere in the middle. I will say he's a morally great character, honestly. Like he's a morally black character, okay? Not gray, black. Morally black. He's a morally black character, okay? So then we move on to as the investigation continues, the atmosphere becomes darker, the inspector appears to know exactly where to look and what questions to ask. He controls the conversation, forcing each character to reveal uncomfortable truths. His presence becomes almost like a ghost, almost ghost-like, because he seems less interested in legal punishment and more interested in moral judgments. So as the investigation continues, it begins to continue to press them. It begins like it's so unsettling because he knows exactly what to ask, exactly what happened. He just wants them to admit it, and he just like he seems less interested in you did this, and we are going to arrest you. You did this, we're going to arrest you. It seems so much less interested in that. Like it seems like he really, really, really couldn't care less about that. Like it seemed like he really couldn't care less, honestly. Isn't that it really couldn't care less about that? Like it couldn't care less about legal judgment. Like it does seem like a guy that really didn't care about the legal consequences of what they were doing. So um so because she was a member of a charitable organization, but because of she basically believed in her mind that she didn't approve of um Eva Smith's condition, which is genuinely so crazy. What do you mean by you don't approve of her condition? Is it her fault that she's in that condition? It is basically your family's fault. It was your husband and your son and your daughters and your son-in-law's future son-in-law's fault. You had the chance to help her to probably just get some relief for her, but you still ostracized her and make sure that she didn't get help, which is so bad. And the fact that she didn't even feel remorse for this action of hers, it literally solidified me thinking that this woman is a horrible, horrible, horrible person. Like she basically didn't show any support, any sympathy for Eva Smith in that situation. Like it was genuinely so sad. Like she couldn't even show like, okay, this is a young lady who is off on her own. Even if like she couldn't even show any support or understanding that okay, she's a young lady all on her own, she needs help. She came to a child. Yeah, because of this, Mrs. Birling literally became the character I liked the least. And when I said Shirley Banken, I meant Eva Smith. So basically, Eva Smith was pregnant for our own son, Mrs. Um, Mrs. Birling's own son. She didn't help her. That all compounded to her evaporation of life. So basically, this story is very, very tragic. I genuinely feel so bad for Eva Smith. She's a very, very sad character. She's a tragic character. All this was happening to her, even though Eric and Sheila felt remote in the end. Their remorse isn't gonna bring her back, which is so sad. And that is genuinely so sad. So I feel so bad for her because like all of this was happening to her. It was just hitting her at the time. It was so sad. So it is so sad. And in the end, they Inspector Goole left. He left the scene, but he received a call from the police station that a woman just had her life evaporated on the way to the hospital, and the police was coming to their house. So the question remains: who is Inspector Goole? And then like I'm gonna put a little bit of suspense in that, but I was also like when me and my teacher read that last part, we're like, so the Inspector Goole who just absolutely roasted the family isn't an inspector, which is insane. So that's basically all I'm gonna say about this book. I genuinely love this book. This book is very, very interesting. I can't really tell you the full story. You guys don't really grasp the full enjoyment of this book if you don't go check it out. So please go check out An Inspector Calls by J.B. Priestley. It's an amazing book. This is me again, Mal. I really had a fun time, an amazing time recording this. Okay, I had an amazing time recording this video for you guys. And whenever this video comes out, it comes out. Okay, so while this video is coming out, I'm gonna be reading some other books, and I'm probably gonna be hinting at a poem. Still I Rise. So Still I Rise is going to probably be my next that's what I'm probably going to do my next review on. So it's a me and girl Mal. Thank you for coming to my library and listening to me this long. I know I've been ranting for a long time now and I'm still ranting. So please like, subscribe, and support the channel wherever you are. Bye.